And from the cockpit to the courtroom as questions swirl around why an off-duty pilot allegedly tried to bring a plane down. Plus, in search of a brazen burglar, the suspect who's cool and calm and left plenty of evidence behind. And later.
It's not a job to me. I love every aspect of it. There's not one thing I do not like.
Well, meet the dynamic duo taking a job geared around safety to a whole new level. Good evening, everyone. Let's get right to breaking news out of Hillsborough, where police say they have arrested 2 teenagers after a shooting at a house party over the weekend. You may remember a 17-year-old was killed and a 16-year-old was injured Saturday evening at the home on Northeast 34th Place. The update this evening, police say they have identified 2 shooting suspects on Monday night and took them into custody. Both are 17 years old. Authorities say because they are juveniles, their identities will not be released to the public. It's unclear if the teens have been charged. We will keep you updated here, of course, and at KGW.com as details come in. And we continue tonight with stunning new details about the off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down a plane's engines mid-flight. Today, that pilot appeared before a judge with court records showing he was apparently having a nervous breakdown in the cockpit after he'd taken magic mushrooms for the first time. Investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi with more.
The off-duty Alaska Airline pilot accused of trying to turn off a plane's engine mid-flight appeared before a judge in Multnomah County Circuit Court. 44-year-old Joseph Emerson is facing more than 80 counts of attempted murder. He pleaded not guilty during the brief hearing on state charges. Federal prosecutors also charged him Tuesday with 1 count of interfering with a flight crew. Federal court documents provide new details about Sunday's incident on board Alaska Airlines Flight 2059, operated by Horizon Airlines. Emerson was riding in the cockpit jump seat on the flight from Everett, Washington to San Francisco when he threw his headset, telling the pilots, "I'm not okay." Prosecutors say the off-duty pilot then reached for the red fire handles. An FBI agent wrote, Emerson was unable to pull the red handles down all the way and fully activate the engine shutoff due to the pilot's wrestling with Emerson. After struggling with him for nearly 30 seconds, Emerson settled down and left the cockpit. Passengers saw Emerson walk to the back of the plane.
I made eye contact with him. It was like one of those like soul chilling, like dead in the eyes, like just calm and just kind of like he was taking in everyone around him.
According to the FBI, Emerson told a flight attendant, "You need to cuff me right now, or it's going to be bad." He was seated in a flight attendant's seat and placed in handcuffs. But during the plane's descent, the FBI said he turned towards an emergency exit door and tried to grab the handle. A flight attendant stopped him. The plane landed safely at PDX. While in custody, Emerson told police he was having a nervous breakdown, hadn't slept, was depressed after losing a close friend, and he talked about using psychedelic mushrooms 48 hours before the incident in the cockpit.
Kyle Aboshi reporting there. Emerson will be held without bail. Jail officials say he is now on suicide watch. He's also scheduled to appear in federal court on Thursday. All right, I want to bring in Catherine Cook now as we continue our coverage. Catherine, while we do not know definitively what is going on here, this raises so many questions around crew member judgment, mental health, and well-being.
It's tricky, David. Experts say many airline professionals will deny any mental health struggles that might lead to a diagnosis. Even something like seasonal affective disorder could cost pilots their medical credentials. The alternative is carrying on like nothing's wrong. No diagnosis, no treatment, which can also be very dangerous. Tonight, we talked with a mental health professional and a pilot who hope that changes soon.
For every flight that I operate as a captain, I assess my fitness for duty.
Greg Morris has been a pilot since 1997. He's now a captain for a major airline. And while many things have changed in his industry, one thing has not: the toll that often accompanies being away from loved ones and working all hours of the day.
It can be tough on pilots and flight attendants. And so we need to put a greater emphasis on mental health issues and the tolls that our job takes on us and the impacts that mental health can play.
Still, Morris and others in the industry note they must tread lightly here, given the Federal Aviation Administration's approach to mental health among pilots.
And unfortunately, due to restrictions by the FAA, diagnoses can be what we call grounding, or pilots can get their wings clipped.
Cora Christine is an aviation therapist. Her roommate is a pilot. She cares deeply for the industry. She says pilots who report mental health diagnoses are often grounded until they pay thousands of dollars out of pocket to prove they're not a safety risk. For that reason, she says they'll often avoid seeking help for everyday stressors that so many people struggle with.
Same with if your cat dies or you lose a family member and you're processing it. Most people take 6 months to a year to process really big changes. Depending on how your aeronautical medical examiner interprets that could be considered a mood disorder.
It's one reason that even as a licensed therapist, Christine uses the title life coach when helping aviation professionals. Less chance of a paper trail that could jeopardize her clients' careers. In that same vein, she fears many who need help may seek it through other means, like drug use.
We have to acknowledge the systemic damage that has been done up to this point for pilots that are stuck.
My hope is that we put a brighter light on the importance of mental health.
For Captain Morris, that includes helping pilots know where they can get help, including peer-to-peer groups that airlines provide. And with time, he hopes that the kind of help so many need will be available and celebrated rather than feared by those who need it.
Yeah, I think it's a problem. I think we need to let our guard down just enough to indicate that maybe we need some help.
It's worth noting it's unclear exactly if or when Joseph Emerson sought professional help, but we do know, at least from court records, that in his words, he'd been struggling a long time. David.
And thank you, Catherine. Appreciate the context and your reporting tonight. All right, let's take you outside on this blustery Tuesday night. A chilly feeling, 50 degrees over the Rose City with heavy rain and winds blowing through our area. Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino here now with a first look at your forecast, Matt.
Hey, David, and here's a look at some of the first snow in the Cascades. Check it out. This is live from Timberline Lodge. It's been snowing very hard up there, and it's going to continue. In fact, since this afternoon, there has been now a total of 6 inches of new snow at Timberline. I'm sure more as you go higher up on the mountain. It's only 28 degrees, too. So, yes, it is happening. The snowpack is beginning to build. This is what it looked like earlier in the day when it was just getting started, but it'll be all white tomorrow when the sun comes up. Doppler radar is pretty much all green with a good smattering of yellow and orange. If you just had some very heavy rain move through within about the last hour, and I know many of us saw it, heard it, felt it, that was the cold front. And it's now moving east of I-5, arcing down through Salem, then up and through Clackamas County, and eventually up to Mountain Hood. It's going to snow really hard there in the next hour or so. Behind that cold front, though, doesn't mean the rain ends. There's plenty of showers coming our way. More on the snow situation, 4 to 9 inches by the end of the day tomorrow. Couple inches Thursday, Friday, and then it dries out. And notice the rise in the freezing level as we begin to see warmer weather roll back on in. But the headlines look like this. Showers, downpours, possible thunderstorms tomorrow, maybe small hail. The heavy snow continues in the Cascades, and the driving conditions will be pretty terrible up over the mountain passes because it's going to be snowy. So make sure you are ready for that. Meanwhile, out of the coast right now, we're getting some breaks in the clouds. We'll explain what that means in a bit. Back to you, David.
Thanks, Matt. See you in a few minutes here. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Oregon State University is investigating a bomb threat today involving robots. Security sent out an urgent alert around noon advising people not to open the robots, which deliver food on campus. The emergency was over within a few hours. One person was arrested. The university says it inspected all the robots and did not find any explosives. In Portland, police arrested a burglary suspect after a search that lasted for hours. Officials say a Clackamas County Sheriff's deputy spotted a van this morning believed to be connected to multiple burglaries. The van sped off, crossed into Portland, and wound up hitting another car near Southeast 82nd and Flavel. A woman inside that van was taken to the hospital. The driver, police say, jumped out and ran. They used canines, drones, and a plane. And around noon, they say they found 33-year-old Gary Harrison hiding inside a car. And the family of a man struck and killed by a MAX train last week says it's still trying to make sense of his death. 28-year-old David Olson was hit last Thursday between two stations in Gresham in an area that was restricted to the public. His family remembering Olson as kind, genuine, and hardworking.
It's impossible to make sense of it. It's impossible to find answers. It's impossible to understand, and it may always be. He was Funkle Dave to the little ones, and always happy to jump in and play and joke and have a great time.
Investigators are looking into whether headphones they found at the scene may have contributed to Olson's death. In Gresham, authorities are searching for a brazen burglar they say has hit one business after another and has left plenty of evidence behind. His MO seems to be consistent, in and out within minutes, and as Joe Ranieri reports, he's been making off with thousands.
Here in a second, he'll come through the back door.
In every break-in, he's cool, calm, and collected, and he doesn't get spooked by anything, not even an alarm going off.
He breaks the alarm system, goes to the front counter, rips open the counter, and takes the till out.
It was early Monday morning last week when this man broke into Bedrooms West on Northeast Burnside and stole thousands of dollars worth of cash and tools. Manager Mary Goff says he was in and out in just about 5 minutes.
Goes into the back office and rifles through everything and opens a drawer. And in the back of the drawer was the key. Go back to the back camera again.
Goff's shop wasn't the only place he hit that morning. The suspect was quick when he hit Bedrooms West. Not only did he get away with thousands of dollars in cash, he also stole a van inside this garage. He then drove that van right here to Eye Candy in downtown Gresham, which is a less than 5-minute drive from Bedrooms West.
Same exact suspect.
Sydney Joyner is the owner of Eye Candy in downtown Gresham. She got an alert on her phone from the store's security system that someone was breaking in.
And I saw someone kicking in the doors, and then I saw them enter in through our office building. And so immediately I got up, called 911.
She said he got in the same way at her shop with a crowbar.
So they pried through this front door, kind of took it off its hinges, was able to come over here. We didn't have this deadbolt before. It's been added since then, but he popped this in a matter of like 1 second.
From Sydney's surveillance video, you can see him calmly walking through her candy shop, eventually breaking into her office where he stole a safe filled with $3,000. At the same time, the alarm is going off.
He grabbed our office chair, wheeled it out. There's a side ramp exit. He took it that way and was in and out within a few minutes.
And under 5 minutes, this suspect was in and out and walked back to the stolen van and drove off, just missing officers.
You know, it's just frustrating.
Joe Ranieri reporting there. No arrests so far. You are watching KGW News. Straight ahead at 11. Willamette Bridge operators pushing back, while they're now asking county leaders to stop doing this. Plus, meet the local crossing guard that is keeping kids in Newburgh grinning from ear to ear. Stay with us.